it's a good thing to end the year in a strong fashion. But why not spend this time in really evaluating what you did well in 2012, what you didn't do so well in 2012, and what you need to do to get to meet your expectations for 2013. Always a good exercise. And what we are going to do in the community to stimulate enhanced activity for the last 100 days of the year. Actually, it's now 110 days of the year. We have introduced a game called the Entrepreneur's Fun Game. You can actually, I'm not going to talk a lot about it today, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about it. You can go check it out at davidsbarter.com/entrepreneurs. We want to make the Entrepreneur's Game truly a fun game. Too many people starting businesses really do not have fun in starting their businesses or growing their businesses. It's more of a, gosh, I didn't do this, and I've got to do this, and I've got to make more sales, and what have you, whatever the objective might be, and they're not stopping to enjoy the experience. I can probably put myself in that position in several of the businesses that I've been involved with in my lifetime. I found, however, that, well, for sure, the most exciting thing that I have ever done since I started doing small business things in 1972, the most fun I've ever had and the most productive I've ever been, and the most things that have been happening are happening right now in my life, and that is that's really a great place to be. One would think that after all these years, I should be able to do all the things that I want to do, and I do the things that I want to do. But the point is, I don't have to be necessarily doing them the way that I am doing them. Most folks my age who have been in business as long as I have are trying to figure out how to wind down from activities, not to get it all going again. But I have found it a most invigorating experience to just take all the experiences I've had and put them all together and create this community called David's Barter. And it's been a gratifying experience, truly a gratifying experience. And I think more so than ever, my business thoughts and ideas have the strongest meaning and significance than I've ever seen. I've done a lot of great things over the years, but now to create for the marketplace, to create something that it's working for me, and now I'm able to share it with you. And if it works for me, there's no reason why it should not work for you. It's pretty simple. It's not. Sometimes people take the starting of a business too seriously, and really don't take time to step back and say, really, what I'm doing, does it have meaning? Well, first and foremost, it has to have meaning to your life. That's the most important thing. It has to have meaning. You have to be passionate about what it is that you do. And if it's the right thing to do, you have to be persistent with that, never leaving it, always going to it. I read the other day, and I wanted to share it with you. It's from a book soon to be introduced by Brandon Steiner. Brandon, I don't know much about Brandon, but he talks about rising from humble beginnings to reach the top of his field, and how it takes some real courage to make it that far, to push through all the barriers that spring up. And there's 5 bullet points that Brandon makes in his book that I'd like to share with you, because it's not just, I see them tied very, very closely to starting a business. He does it not necessarily to start a business, but just to do what it is that you want to do in life. To get to the top of what you're doing, he says, the courage to stick to your passion even when the world is telling you to stop. That's the true test of an entrepreneur. Sticking to your passion, being persistent about it, being patient with it. Although, at some time, the world may tell you to stop, and the way they tell you is they're not buying your product, they're not buying your service. And unless you have very, very deep pockets yourself personally, or you have friends that are willing to invest money in what it is that you're doing, sometimes you really have to say, well, maybe I was off. Maybe I didn't project right. And so don't stop listening to the world, but listen, actually listen and hear. And as long as you can keep doing it and not have a negative impact on other people's lives, why shouldn't you do it? It's only when what you are doing, when you're so involved in what you're doing, might have negative impact with your family, your friends, the folks around you. So just put that in proper perspective. A second point, the courage to be creative and develop a product no one else is trying to sell. That is absolutely key, and I think the key word there is creativity. That has been one of my strongest characteristics as I've looked at all the various things, that you have to be creative. You have to show folks that there might be a different way to look at things, to do things, to use a product. The service that is being provided, it's different. It's not the same old thing. As a matter of fact, if you were with me yesterday, I expected to see my first email today, Jay Abraham, an expert in this country on what he does, because he does it as well as, if not better than anybody else does it. He said that he's going to be bringing to market something radically different from anything that he has ever done. And I'm really curious to see what that is, and I will be sharing that with you. Okay, so creativity is something very, very important. And once again, I've been saying it for the last couple weeks, you have to be able to bring something of value to the marketplace. The courage to do for others without expecting anything back, because you never know who's going to come to your rescue later on. This is something that not too many people do at all. Few people do it very well. Most folks take the approach, I'm doing it, and what's in it for me, instead of just doing it because it's the right thing to do. And because it's the right thing to do, things will come back to you when you least expect them. The courage to pass up the easy dollar for the $20 that might be lying down the road. This is a good one, and I relate this statement to all of the get rich quick schemes, and we see them every day. I see them every day. I see them in emails, people trying to sell me something. There is no quick way to riches. It is something that takes work, takes time, takes patience, takes persistence, takes passion, but it's not a quick fix. If it is a quick fix, it'll end pretty quickly also. And so sometimes look beyond that moment here and say, oh my goodness, if I do this right now, it's going to happen right now. Think more about the future and what you can do today that will have sustaining value in the future. And the final point, know when to let go of something when you know it's not working. And I mentioned that earlier. That's a hard thing to do. That's a hard thing to do. And earlier this week or last week, I shared with you the experience that from a business perspective, one of the most exciting things I ever did was I started a magazine from zero, only with an idea. I hired 15 people to help me get to that idea. And in 11 months, we proved as a team that our business model worked because we created a profit in the 11th month of operation. That was great. What was not seen by the general public, and only I could see it, was I was not enjoying the total experience of having 15 other people not only look to me as the leader, that was okay, but look to me for a paycheck every week or every 2 weeks. And that was a very difficult thing for me to do. And I was very young at the time. I wasn't even 30 years old. And it was a very, very difficult thing for me to do. But then we look at the Zuck, who wasn't 30 years old yet, and in 8 years he was able to build a business that 4 months ago had market value of $100 billion. Today has market value of half of that. He's still a billionaire before the age of 30, and then probably the youngest one ever to achieve that status, literally starting from zero, not inheriting it, not using somebody. Well, he had other investors in Facebook, but it was mostly his show, and what a wonderful job he's done with it. And did you read yesterday? If you look at my Google Plus from yesterday and from today, it was a continuing story. I shared the experience that Zuck made his first public appearance since his company went public in May and had a huge beginning and started falling the next day and the next day and the next day. And he made his first public appearance and was somewhat apologetic for the performance of his company. And it was major. It was major, the statement he made, because stockholders in his company actually took to heart his message, and Facebook shares rose a little bit after he made that announcement. And maybe the biggest announcement from the terms of business development that he made: if you were all waiting for Facebook to come out with its own phone, he says, forget about it. not of interest to us. Even if we were able to sell 20 million phones, which with almost a billion customers, he would easily sell 20 million phones. He said we would only make a small dent in the phone market. So why worry that? I think the biggest thing that we're going to see from Facebook, there's no question about it. Well, two things. The activity that Facebook, the technology that they develop for mobile phone activity, because more and more people are using Facebook from their telephones. And so he has to make sure that all the telephone technology works as far and integrates with the basic Facebook technology. And the other very, very big thing, and I see it happening, is the search engine capabilities of Facebook. It's going to have its limitations because my gut feeling is that it is only going to be a search engine more about people, because nobody has more information about people than Facebook does. And so you're going to be able to search people and what those people think and what those people buy, and et cetera, et cetera. Google will always be dominant in just general search. However, there was some bright light shed on Bing in some information that was just, some data that was just released yesterday, that Bing increased their market share of search by 0.2%. Yes, a very modest increase. However, it was an increase against Google, who has pretty close to a 70% market share of search. Google actually lost 0.2% of search engine market share. In the scheme of things, small, I think, for those folks who are working at Bing and trying to enhance Bing as a search engine. I never used Bing as a search engine very much, and I really just started looking at it in the last week or two. And last Sunday, if you were with me at stickham.com, you heard me compare my Bing search results with my Google search results. Google was far superior, but I was amazed. Bing must be searching Google's search engines to get information. And in fact, the top listing that I had in Bing was dramatically different from the top listing that I had in Google. There's no question whatsoever that Bing, well, Microsoft, who owns Bing, has a very close business relationship with Facebook. So whatever growth and development Facebook has in the search engine world, search engine information, it will be mostly due to the business relationship that they have with Bing. But those are things to come. I actually wanted to talk initially about, once again, the SBA is coming out with more great information than I have ever seen in the 5 years that I've been studying the SBA and all the information that's available. So I'm going to stop this YouTube recording.